We don't even have a movie 3 trailer yet and we're already talking about Sonic movie 4? Hey, what's up everyone, it's me, SpeedSuperSonic, guys, another video. In this video today, yeah, you heard me right, we're talking about Sonic movie 4 and kinda 5 technically, maybe even 6. Yeah, basically, we have an actual quote here from the executive producer of the Sonic movie franchise, Toby Ascher. He recently did an interview, I believe in relation to the Knuckles TV show that is coming up, but of course, with Sonic movie 3 coming later this year and this leading into that film, there's gonna be questions and he was gonna end up talking about basically the movie franchise. Well, I'll say this here first, there's nothing too crazy going on here when it comes to Sonic movie 3 in terms of the stuff he says. What he does say here, in fact, is more interesting to me personally than anything we could have learned about Sonic movie 3, because it indicates that the Sonic movie franchise has a future beyond it. Before we get into all of the discussions of like where my mind is, what we could expect, let's just go ahead and read what he has to say in this article right here from CBR. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 EP, executive producer, explains why the upcoming sequel will be an Avengers-level event. Sonic the Hedgehog franchise executive producer Toby Ascher explains how the upcoming threequel will feel similar to an MCU crossover movie. So that's interesting. When he says Avengers-level event, I'm assuming that means that this is their version of an Avengers movie, but for Sonic. Like, you know how you have like Iron Man and then Captain America and then they all cross over? Well, we haven't really had that. Like, there hasn't been like a Knuckles movie and a Shadow show and a Tails movie. I know what he means. He's like talking about this being the largest, most climactic, most cinematic, epic version of a Sonic movie we've seen so far. Sonic the Hedgehog executive producer Toby Ascher recently shared that the franchise's big screen outings would begin to emulate the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Each movie is being produced to feel like an Avengers-level event, starting with the forthcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That's big right there for obvious reasons, but let's keep going. Speaking with Paste about the spin-off series Knuckles, Ascher explained how the 6-episode Paramount Plus original will be the first step in evolving the franchise into something reminiscent of the MCU. We got really excited about the idea of expanding our characters in our world into television, specifically because it gives us a platform to really do character studies. I love to hear that. First off, he says just characters, expanding like the franchise and characters and doing that kind of stuff. That's awesome to hear. That means that there's the potential of there being more shows in the future, maybe even a Knuckles season 2. I'm not sure how likely that is, like with them describing this as a 6-episode event. This is probably all that there will be for Knuckles, but you never know, maybe it'll be a big success and they'll just order another one. But there's been talk of a Shadow spin-off project being in the works as well. While it's not specific what it will be, whether it will be a film or a TV show, it's been reported by Daniel RPK, who is incredibly reliable, that that is in the works at Paramount to have a project based off of Shadow. So if they want to do more character-based stuff, I'm really excited for that. Whether we'll get Tails or any other characters, we'll have to wait and see. But that is still great to hear nonetheless, and especially the aspect of it being character studies and being able to dive into the characters more, because that's the most important part. If you guys know me, that's what means the most to me, so I'm just really happy to read that. We know that with Shadow coming into Sonic 3 and some of the bigger things that we want to do, the Sonic franchise on the movie side is going to be these Avengers-level events. They're going to be these big, exciting stories that have a lot of different characters, and so what television did for us is it gave us time to get into more of the supporting characters in depth and really build them out in cool ways. Now, the article does go on, but it really just gives us and regurgitates a lot of info that we already have known presently. So we're gonna skip all of that. That was really all of the meat and the chunks of information that we were given from that, but oh my god, that was amazing. I can barely breathe. So what is my biggest takeaway from this? Well, first off, there are plans to continue this franchise forward beyond Sonic movie 3. There was discussion for a while, and I've even floated around the idea, I think I probably even made a video about it at some point, that Sonic movie 3 could maybe potentially be the last movie in the franchise, and maybe they'll just reboot, do something different, but that does not seem to be the case at all. They're kind of discussing Sonic 3 as a starting point for the movie franchise, where this will launch the franchise into an MCU-like universe, which is just so bizarre because, like, look at this on a bigger scale. As it stands right now, the MCU is one of, if I don't want to say the only, but there's a good chance, the only successful cinematic universe there has been. I know the new stuff isn't that great, but but look at what they did for that 10-year period of the Infinity Saga. It was incredibly impressive. And so many studios have been trying to do that since. DC crashed and burned the Dark Universe. And who would have thought, this is so stupid, who would have thought that Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah, that Sonic the Hedgehog, a character who only a few years ago was the laughingstock of the internet, who had a trailer release for his movie that was incredibly panned by the internet, would go on to have a successful cinematic universe in 2024. I, in my wildest dreams, wouldn't have expected this from the Sonic franchise, but sure enough, here we are. But that's the best news. They're not done with the Sonic movies. They want to continue this for as long as they can. Not just in theaters, but also on television. So it seems like not only do they have plans for more Sonic TV shows, but also more Sonic movies, which would naturally be Sonic 4. Whether they'll call the movie Sonic 4 or not, I have no idea. And that's really been my biggest thing. If they're going to continue the movies, which it seems like they're going to do, with Sonic Movie 3 and all of the hype it has, this thing is going to make money. It's going to succeed, if not surpassing the sequel, which, you know, made a bunch of money and gave us Sonic 3 and then a cool show. We'll be getting more. It's just, I don't know what they're gonna call them. I don't know if you could call the fourth Sonic movie Sonic the Hedgehog 4, because then I think you might start losing people. When you get to 3, I think that's like kind of the, alright, let's flip to the next chapter of the book. I would start, my personal opinion, doing subtitles like Sonic the Hedgehog World's End. I don't know, they're never gonna, that's a stupid name, why did I say that? Kind of something they did with like the Ninja Turtle and Transformers franchise they have. Just give them subtitles. You know, like Out of the Shadows, The Last Night, not those names, obviously. Those are the names of those movies. But that could help indicate that, yes, this is a sequel, but, you know, you don't really have to watch all of them or do all of this homework to go watch the new one. Hence why the MCU didn't do that for some of their franchises. Outside of Iron Man, I don't think they did any numbering for character sequels like Captain America or Thor or even Spider-Man. I think after this, that's the direction they're gonna start going in. I'm gonna put that down in my prediction book. But Sonic 4, man, it's looking like it's going to happen, and that it seems, from what they're saying, for the foreseeable future, it looks like the movies are going to be this big, massive event where there's going to be a big conflict, new characters, and that's also something we should talk about. The fact that he's mentioning that multiple different characters are going to be introduced into the franchise. There's been talk of like, who else could you really market in, you know, this universe? Shadow seemed to have been the last natural choice. And when I say natural, that's what I mean. These are the most iconic Sonic characters out of the franchise. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow. Amy's in there as a close second, but like, I think a lot of people are coming to realize there's a good chance that Amy might not be in 3, but that's not me saying to completely rule out the possibility, because she very well could be. But also, if you don't get Amy in 3, she could pop up in 4 along with some other characters. My thing is that Shadow's gonna take up so much time in 3, will we have enough time to give Amy some screen time? And I'm thinking if you put more characters in 4, then maybe she'll have more of a role to be in there, but you'll never know, we'll see. But him mentioning new characters is exciting, and hopefully that indicates Sonic characters, not also humans as well. And there's more plans to introduce like all the characters you see behind me into this amazing movie universe. So many question marks go around in relation to this. Like, I think it's almost guaranteed at this point, Jim Carrey's done after this. I don't think he wants to act, period, anymore, but he had contractual obligations to be here. He does love this character, so he did 3. But will he do 4? I think a lot of you guys know, probably not. Though that makes me question where we're gonna go in terms of villains. We know Sonic and Eggman are like this. You can't have one without the other, kind of. I say kind of because we really don't know that, because it hasn't really been done before in terms of a large piece of media. All of the games have had Sonic and Eggman in them, all of the shows. We've had other villains pop up and do different things, and sometimes Sonic and Eggman will have to team up to defeat something, but I'm talking about a world where there's no Eggman in there and Sonic and friends have to defeat a new enemy. This is where the Sonic movie franchise beyond 3 is going to start taking creative liberties, introducing new villains, new characters, maybe even original characters. And when I say original characters, I'm not really talking Sonic's friends. You have so many Sonic friends you can pull through, there's no reason you really should introduce new ones. But in terms of original characters and villains, I could very likely see that being the case. I don't know, man. 4 is going to be an interesting one. When it will come out, I'm assuming it'd be like 2026, maybe 2027, early 2027 at like the latest, as these movies have been operating in a bi-yearly release schedule, which has been going great for them. Regardless though, this is really exciting news. There is zero indication in this interview with Toby Ascher that there are any intentions on ending the Sonic movie franchise post 3, and that they plan to continue this thing on TV, on the big screen. That's incredibly exciting as a Sonic fan to hear. Of course, it should be noted, there's no official confirmation from Paramount that Sonic Movie 4 is in the works right now and that it's, in production, because Sonic Movie 3 is still in production right now. They have a lot to work on in terms of that movie, continuing to make the movie that is nowhere near complete yet, marketing it, getting it out, rolling it out. Remember, it was around 2 months after the first Sonic Movie 2 trailer that we heard Sonic Movie 3 and Knuckles were going to be coming. And that was after the good reception from the general audience and the fan base, as well as the projections of this movie doing well in the box office because of all of the good reception. Once when we start getting trailers and promo and we get the same results, I think that's when they will determine, okay, movie 4, bring it on. This is the best news possible. I am so happy about this. It's a little surreal that we're already talking Sonic 4, but here we are. This is where I pass it off to you guys and ask what you think. What do you think about Sonic Movie 4 basically being confirmed and other TV shows and movies beyond that being planned and in the works? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'd love to know what you guys have to say. Feel free to follow my social media links to my Twitter and Instagram in the description below. You can follow those behind the scenes in my life, future content, and all things Sonic the Hedgehog. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. This is the #1 destination on YouTube for all things Sonic. Whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, comic books, merchandise, and more, we talk about it all. I can assure you guys, no one else on YouTube is going to be talking about these stories, so to be able to hear about it, I'm so shocked. No one's talking about that Sonic 4 is basically confirmed yet. Just stay tuned here. This is the best spot for all of that in relation to the Sonic movie franchise, but not just that. New games like Sonic X Shadow Generations, all the mobile titles. It's an incredibly exciting time to be a Sonic fan. I have another video coming out to you guys tomorrow, also in relation to the Sonic movie universe. That one's also equally, if not more exciting than this video, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
And be right by the motherfucking seaside, dog. Everything I see, I got a dream. I thought these leaves would go and take me out the dark. I know everything I wanted to follow me.